With the new for 2025 Darton Exodus Pro SD. I'm going to be talking about the specs for this bow, the new tech that Darton introduced this year, and also how to set it up and use the new technology that they introduced. And I'm also going to compare some of the changes that they've made between the 2024 Exodus and the 2025 version. Comparing the 2024 Exodus to the new 2025 Exodus Pro SD, we can see that the riser design is the same. In addition to the new limb pockets with the perfect tune system and the perfect timing system, we also got a different cam, slightly shorter limbs on the SD than the original Exodus. In getting rid of the yoke tuning system, we also got rid of the E-clips, which is really awesome. The cam has the style more like the sequel did, where we've got your mods, which are going to be adjusting the let off, and then the draw stop is not attached to the mod anymore like it was on the 2024 Exodus. Darton sends two different sizes of draw stops to use, and this lets you really perfect the feel of the back wall and your holding weight for your draw length. Something that I think is really great is the new rocker bolt design, where we have a threaded bolt that runs from one side through the entire base where the limbs are there. You can just tighten from one side, and conveniently it's on the left hand side of the bow, so when it's in the press, that bolt is facing you. So just set up the bow. I literally took everything off the original Exodus and put it on the Exodus Pro SD. Like sight, rest, everything just as is, and I threw it on there. And I took my first shot at 20 yards, and man, like left and right was different, but the height was the same. So looks like that's gonna probably go through paper pretty well. So now it's time to shoot through paper and see how the tune looks. All right, time to shoot through paper at 6 yards. I am thinking that since my 20 yards on the original Exodus looked good height-wise, I think the tune for this is going to be the same, since it's the same riser, a little bit different limbs, and a new cam system. So I think it'll be close. Let's go check it out. Okay, so here's the shot that I just took, and we can see that height looks really good. We got a left tear. Let's go ahead and do the tuning and get that little bit of a left tear out. That's a really good start. I love it. So before making an adjustment, I'm going to see how the cams are looking with my arrow here. Starting with the bottom cam, I like the way that looks. It's pretty good cam lean. And the top, don't like the lean on the top cam. I'm going to be making an adjustment just to the top cam, leave the bottom cam where it's at, and get that left tear out. Whoa, that was easy. To make an adjustment to the tune of your bow with the perfect tune system, we're going to be using these bolts that are in the limb pocket here. So this comes out and can go in either side. You do not want to rotate this more than 2 turns maximum. Now, the way it works is that you are going to add tension to this, and it's going to actually push down on the limb and cause your cam to lean one direction or the other. So you would either add tension to the left-hand side, or if you had the button on the right, you could remove some of the tension from it on the right. Now, last year we had the Exodus with the yoke tuning system, and these buttons in the perfect tune system are going to be opposite for what you were tuning with for the yokes. So you would get a right twist for your yoke. It's going to be adding a turn into the button on the left limb instead. The perfect tune system saves a lot of time because you don't have to put your bow in a press to make your adjustment. You can make it out in the field. You can make it wherever you're doing without taking everything off your bow. Now, when I set my bow up straight out of the box, my timing was perfect. So I don't need to make any adjustments to the timing, but I am going to show you how. So this is the perfect timing system, and it's taking the cable here, and you will be adding twists into the cable or taking out by rotating this system. There is a set screw, and you would loosen the set screw, and then these two parts of the system rotate separately. So you can simply rotate to add a twist or rotate the other way to remove a twist to get your timing perfect. Once you've adjusted it the way you need, go ahead and tighten that set screw down so that doesn't have any chance of moving. This feels extremely solid the way it is. I don't have any fear that that's going to start rotating. Just got the SD set up the way I like it. I got my new strings on, and I decided to tune it to micros. So I've been shooting, and man, it's shooting really solid. The setup that I'm running for 3D is basically about the same of what I run each year. I literally just took everything off the 2024 Exodus and stuck it as is on the 2025 Exodus Pro SD. And I've got a 33-inch Conquest Smackdown 625 with 9 ounces on the front, and two Conquest 747s at 15 inches with 65 ounces on the back of the bow. So that's my usual setup for what I run for 3D, and pretty much what I run for indoor as well, actually. The only difference is for indoor, I would be shooting fatter arrows, and then I'd have a dot in my scope instead of a pin. Really liking the way the bow shoots. It holds really well. I would say it aims like extremely similar to how the 2024 Exodus aimed, but it has a much smoother draw cycle. And one of the big things is not having that draw stop attached to the mod poking into my leg. With the 27.5-inch draw, that was very irritating. So I really like this, having the mod separate from the draw stops and having the interchangeable draw stops on the bow. Obviously, as you can see, this group right here, that is absolutely pounding right in the same hole. I got my first casualty, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to take care of that. But I'm really excited for this upcoming season with the new bows from Darton. It's gonna be a good year. I definitely recommend heading to your local dealer and checking the new 2025 Darton bows out. They're going to be awesome.